The PGA moved the Genesis Invitational away from Los Angeles due to the wildfires. So the tournament, which starts on Thursday, moved from Riviera Country Club in LA to Torrey Pines near San Diego. Initially, Tiger Woods was set to make his return to the Genesis this weekend, but citing the recent death of his mother, Tiger Woods is withdrawing from the tournament. Michael Breed joining us now on HQ. Now, Torrey Pines has been the home to PGA Tour events since 1968, a course that we are all familiar with. But remind us, Michael, what makes this beautiful location so unique? Give us our brief breakdown of the South Course.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's hosted U.S. Opens and obviously a golf course that just coming off the Farmers a couple of weeks ago. This is a golf course that's really, really big. It's also, this particular week is going to play a little bit different than the way it played at Farmers because of the weather. It was very, very fast a few weeks ago. Now it's going to be a little bit soft. They're expecting some rain. It's a little bit damp and a little bit cold. And the rough is up. So what do we expect this to play like? I expect it to play a little bit closer to a U.S. Open that we've seen in 2008 when Tiger Woods obviously won that with Rocco Mediate and that exciting playoff. I think this golf course is going to play really long. I think it's going to be very difficult to find greens. It's going to be one of those golf courses that you're going to have to drive the ball nicely. It's going to test all parts of the game, and certainly it's not going to be the scoring fest that we've seen in the past.
It's amazing how much can change in just 3 weeks out there with that weather. Talking about that South Course and all of the issues that you might have with it, it is known for its thick rough. So if you're caught up in it, show us how it's done. How do you get out of it?
Well, now, Jenny, I know you don't ever hit the ball in the rough, so I understand
Never.
This is what you could take this part off. But for most people who find the rough, this is a really challenging situation because what you end up doing is you go into the shot by looking at your distance. You've got 175 yards and you grab a 5-iron or a 4-iron, you can't get out. What you have to realize is there's two things that you have to do to have success. The first one is you got to steepen the angle of attack. Now, how do you do that? This is a pretty simple one. The ball's going to be a little bit back in your stance. You might even stand a little bit closer to it. But I want you to focus on the lead knee, where in the lead knee, what we want to have happen when we make a backswing in the fairway or, say, on the tee box, we want that knee to move back. But in this situation, I want you to feel like that knee is moving towards the toe. And what that will do is it will shift your center of weight. It'll move it forward of the golf ball and create a steep angle of attack. So I'm going to go this way, fall forward on it, and then I strike it. Now, what happens is this ball is going to flight out very, very low. That launched at about 9 degrees, and you could also see that it went to the left. Now, what we do to counter those two things is we're simply going to grip this golf club a little bit open. That little bit of loft added and face open is going to help straighten out that shot. So you grip it a little open, stand in there, let that lead knee go forward, and then let this just get steeper. And now you're going to peg it, and what's going to happen is it's going to have a higher launch. It'll get the distance that you're looking for. That one actually got out there to about 180, which is excellent. It won't go that distance coming out of the rough because there's going to be a lot of grass between the ball and the face, and so you're going to try to minimize that by steepening that. It's still going to have some club head speed, but the ball speed will be taken out, and it won't go quite as far as that one did. It'll go the distance that you expect. But make sure you steepen the angle of attack and open up that club face. But again, Jenny, I said this before, you know all this stuff, so this is just old news for you.
I never have to deal with this, but, you know, I'll clip it off. I'll send it to my husband because he's the one that really struggles.
Will could use that.
Yeah,
I've played with him.
He struggles on the course. Man, oh, man. Michael Breed, we love you here on HQ. Thanks so much for breaking it down for us, and you can catch the Genesis Invitational Saturday at Sunday. Our coverage starting at 3 p.m. Eastern on CBS. It'll also be streaming on Paramount+.
So we have the course preview covered, and now we're going to get into storylines and players that we're going to see in the field with Patrick McDonald. Patrick, starting with, of course, Tiger Woods. He's the host. We usually always see him playing here at this event, but as mentioned off the top, Tiger Woods announcing this week that he is not going to play, saying that he's still processing the loss of his mother.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was honestly a little surprised he committed to the field on Friday when he was due, just because of everything that he has going on with his personal life. He obviously lost his mother. His children, lost a grandmother as well. So a lot to deal with for Tiger on the personal front. So he absolutely should take as much time as possible that he needs to process what's going on. And it is a bummer from a field perspective, right? We don't get to see Tiger Woods too much this day and age on the PGA Tour. His last start was the 2024 Open. I know he's been playing TGL a little bit. So I do wonder if this maybe will lead to a potential start during Florida, right? We haven't seen Tiger Woods play the Players Championship in some time. He's right down the road from PGA National and the Cognizant Classic. So that's all in the future right now. Thoughts and prayers for Tiger and the whole Woods family. But it does leave some questions with his playing schedule leading up to Augusta National and that Masters.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the field, because it is a loaded field regardless. We're going to get started with Scotty Scheffler, who's making his third start of this season. And whenever I ask what are your expectations for Scotty, it feels like a silly question because we just expect him to be in the mix come Sunday for whatever event that he is playing in. But if we look at his career at Torrey Pines, I believe his best finish was a T7 back in 2021. So with that in mind, what are you feeling like for Scotty?
I don't love the course fit for Scotty Scheffler at Torrey Pines. I think he does some of his best work at those real strategic golf courses like an Augusta National, like a TPC Sawgrass. Michael laid out the course preview beautifully, but it's not really all that difficult from a strategy point of view. It's a par 4 that goes slightly to the right. Then it's another par 4 that might go slightly to the left. It's a lot of drivers as well. And something that I've noticed from Scotty Scheffler so far in his return, it's a super small sample size. Don't get me wrong, but he's lost strokes around the green 2 events in a row. That's the first time he has done that since 2021. His body wasn't really moving all that great Sunday. Back 941 at the Phoenix Open also. So I think just all that combined, right? The short game, maybe a little bit of a question mark, not too much strategy involved around Torrey Pines, and maybe still shaking some of that rust off. I'm maybe a bit more tepid on Scotty Scheffler this week than I am most.
Okay, and he is the favorite at plus 400. Rory is right behind him at 7-1, looking for back-to-back wins. Are you confident that Rory can build on the success that we saw from him at Pebble?
I am, especially because this is a golf course that is going to put the best golf club in Rory McIlroy's hand, and that is his driver. He's driven it beautifully across 2 events so far in his 2025 there in Dubai, and obviously the victory there at Pebble Beach. And unlike Pebble Beach, where the question mark going into that tournament might have been his wedge play, how was he going to attack those very small greens? At Torrey Pines, it's more of a mid-iron and long iron test, and that is a much better fit for someone like Rory McIlroy, where he's better equipped with those golf clubs in that part of his bag. So he has the driver advantage over the field. He is the best driver in the world. There's some short game shots that are going to have to be required just given how juicy and thick this rough is. Guys are going to be missing fairways in bunches. His short game looks to be in good order, and he's very confident. I love the way he's talking to the media. I love the way he's carrying himself. It seems to me that he only cares about one person right now, none of the extracurriculars. He cares about what Rory McIlroy is doing, and that's good if you're a Rory McIlroy fan.
Yeah, after the win at Pebble, I was seeing, people online talking about him getting a green jacket, and this is the year, and, fingers crossed for Rory. Who knows? Patrick, we certainly appreciate it giving us a Genesis Invitational preview. And, of course, the conversation continues over on the First Cut podcast. There is a Genesis DFS preview in your feed right now. You can download, follow, listen wherever you get your pods, or watch right now by scanning that QR code on your screen.
So we had the course preview at Torrey Pines, a breakdown of some of the golfers competing this weekend, and now it is time to make some money. Scotty Scheffler, the #1 ranked player in the world, is the favorite to win it all at plus 350. He is followed by Rory, then Colin Morikawa, and then your defending champion, Hideki Matsuyama. We got our betting guru, Mike McClure, here to help us out with all of this. We start with your pick to win. Who do you like this weekend to win the Genesis?
I like Rory McIlroy to win back-to-back events here. I think that Rory McIlroy is in excellent form, and really he was fantastic at Pebble, where I had a few question marks. This is a much better setup for him. This course is going to play extremely long due to the conditions that we're going to see here. That is good news for Rory, not only off the tee, but on those longer approach iron shots. He's getting a nice little discount here because Scotty Scheffler is still the #1 player in the world and is teeing it up in this event. But I have some concerns about Scotty. I think they should be a lot closer in terms of odds to win here. So a lot of the values coming from Scotty Scheffler simply being in this field. I think Rory McIlroy gets it done here.
Rory has never started a PGA Tour season with back-to-back wins, but you're saying it's possible, so there's a chance. There's always a chance. All right, your best bet. What do you like?
How about Tommy Fleetwood? I like Tommy Fleetwood in a top 20 market. You know, Tommy Fleetwood is the model of consistency for me. And the number that we're getting here on this, Ginny, looks a lot like a full field. But keep in mind, this is 72 golfers in this field. It's a limited field, elevated event here. And I think Tommy Fleetwood's going to contend. You know, the thing about Tommy Fleetwood not winning on tour, he does lack that win equity with all the star power in the top 10 here. But I think he's going to be right there in terms of a consistent game. When I look at strokes gained off the tee, 12th in this field, 8th on approach, second to only Scotty Scheffler in terms of hitting greens in regulation. This is a spot for me when the golf course gets a little more difficult, like we're projecting. That's where Tommy Fleetwood really excels and just simply grinds out the par that you need. So give me Tommy Fleetwood here, top 20 finish.
His most recent appearance at the Genesis, of course, not at Torrey Pines back in 2024, finished 10th after posting a score of 8 under. Mike McClure making us some money this weekend at the Genesis. We take a look at some of the favorites here to win. So both Michael Breed and McClure like Rory McIlroy at plus 700. Patrick McDonald going with my Boston guy, Keegan Bradley, going for the win there.